This is Daf Yerushalmi Demai in the article Ozvar edition Daf Mem Tes Amral. And we have to the two dots after Yavi between the Torah. In the one edition, it is the second line on Chav Gimel on the base. Between the Torah. And yesterday I learned that the Maskonas Asugya is that Bikurim are only Tikkun Olam because even if you hold Yesh Kinyan Enkin Akum of Kimidei two Chumas and Meisers, still the fruit belongs to the Akum in this case. It's different than the Chumas and Meisers because Chumas and Meisers on the produce which grows from the land. Bikurim is on the actual fruit. So since it's on the actual fruit, then the fruit belongs to the non-Jew. So therefore, the Bikurim can only be Mitnei Tikkun Olam. But the other Mefarshim and the Rosh Sibilio, among them, learned that in Economy the Gemara ends with a question: why don't you bring Bikurim to the Dvar Torah? If Enkin Akum Afkim De Chumas Amaisrus, it shouldn't just be Tikkun Olam; it should be Dvar Torah. And he says that the Rambam actually paskins in Perakav Chumas Bikurim as well, in Perak Beis. It may be Bikurim Min Torah. So the way the Rambam learns it, evidently the conclusion of the sugya is if you ever it's with a question, you ever Bikurim Bar Torah, but that actually is the maskana. You ever Bikurim Bar Torah. So it doesn't remain with the assumption we just had that it's only Minei Tikkun Olam, and that's because even though Ein Kinyan Akum Afkim B'Dei Chumasu Maisrus, but Bikurim are different because Bikurim are not the chiyuv on the growth from the ground, but on the fruit, as the fruit is complete. No, it's the Dvar Torah. So that's the way the Rambam learns it. In any event, we're going to go on now to the next part of the Gemara. Rabbi Yonah Simon Shem Rabbi Shub and Levi said, "Lokech peres lushim min akum." You bought fruit which is tolush min tolush from a non-Jew. Mafis chuma uchumas meiser me halacha. So yeah, take off chuma and chumas meiser, but it's me halacha. Me halacha normally you can mean halacha Moshe Messiah, but not here. It's here it means the midrabanan. So he takes on rabbanan, and therefore, since that's the case, you have an interesting halacha here. V'nosa shevet. Ve'eno noto dami. V'nosa shevet noto dami hashevet. Gives it to the Karmel Levine, but they have to pay. Because Mikra is not chayiv. Rabbanon are chayiv and they give, but not for free. Somebody who takes fruit which is connected to the ground from an akum. Mafish shuma chumas meiser mehalacha. He also only made rabbanon. But no son shevet, he gives it to Kohen Levim. But in this case, ain't no tell mean hadami min shevet. He doesn't take money. He has to give it for free. Matam, from where we learn this? Ki tichum eis b'nei Yisrael. You take from Trumas and Mises from B'nei Yisrael. Eis b'nei Yisrael at motzi from B'nei Yisrael you can take Trumas and Mises. The Kohanim Levine can take them. They belong to them. Now, the next couple lines, Amar, Elizabeth, Shaitar Yisrael takes it out because really that's not relevant to our sugya. And if we continue on from there, so then right after that, can't compel Chumas L'Maises from a non-Jew. So therefore, if you took land from the non-Jew, took Paris from the non-Jew, so really, it's not Mechuyev in Chumas L'Maises. It grew in his land. We're going with Yeshkin and Yarakom of Kimidei Chumas L'Maises. But nonetheless, Rabbanon Mechayev you. Depends. If you bought them Tlushim, according to this Gemara, you bought the Paris Tlushim, you have to take a Chumas L'Maises and Midrabanan, but you get compensated. If you bought them while they're still attached to the land, even though they grow Batur, you still have to take Chumas L'Maises over them, but I'm sorry, the other way around. If to take them, if you You sell them, you bought them tlushim, then you give to some mice to get recompensated. If you bought them with a stumachul barim, take them to some mice, those to aborim, but you don't get compensated for it. Other versions don't get the Makari Kahuna business, but it seems really out of place here. Chaim does point out that the difference between taking Paris Tlushin and Paris Mechubarin is that he wants to sign it. In both cases, the Miruach was by a. No, in the first case, he wants to sign that the Paris Tlushin Akum was the Miruach was in the hands of the non-Jew. That Shlish definitely was, and even Ruach was hands non-Jew. That's why he take the money for it. The second case, even though Abba Shlish would agree with third with Chaim Chumas and Meisers, that is biyad goy, so it's bad, so it's potter. But since the Miruach was in the hands of Yisrael, so therefore it's kind of like a Marasayim thing, and therefore he really has to take off Chumas and Meisers and not get compensated for having taken them off. So again, the difference is in the first case, both cases Abba Shlish biyad akum. The first case also Miruach. The second case Miruach was not. It's not mashma that way from the Gemara. Mashma from the Gemara that the difference is between Tlushim and Mechubarim. But because you took bought them Tlushim, that's why you're chayiv you got compensated. Opposed to you bought them Mechubarim, you don't get compensated, and it seems just an earlier stage because Miruach is not mentioned here, but it could be that Reb Chaim is right that the issue is one of Miruach. Be that as it may, let us go on. The Gemara says, Rabbi Yacha. Rabbi Yacha says, and this is I'm going to go the whole sugya here with the Gilead Ephraim. Rabbi Yacha be as I mentioned, is my favorite parish on Yerushalmi. Rabbi Yacha be may Rabbi Yehoshua bikshu limos har melch pochim min ha'maitzos. They wanted to exempt Har Melech from Trumas and Maisos. The Gilead Ephraim says, "Appears to Moshe Sheyolahem Chashash She'enu Me Archich Zichu Ba'alei Bavel." They suspected he wasn't conquered the second time around, wasn't the time wasn't given to Ezra and been sold by Am Yisrael time Olei Bavel, and therefore it should be potter. So the Gilead Ephraim says, "I don't like that." And any of that, what's that have to do with our suya? And besides that, how is it possible to say that Olei Bavel did not conquer this area? Therefore, it seems they wanted to exempt Maisos because there were no Jews there, or they were not prevalent. So all the produce came from there was grown by non-Jews. Rabbi Shimon, he says it's clear from later on. Perak Vav Daf Chafem Rav. Chafem Rav is in the Vilna edition. But Malcolm Shishon Mitzuyim. The Adkan. The Gemara distinguishes there. Adkan Malcolm Shishon Mitzuyim. Malcolm She'ein Yisrael Mitzuyin. Nishmar Minadah. Rabbi Simon Hayol see the Sos Bara Melech. So the Gemara asks, what about cases where no aren't any Jews? And I have such a case. Rabbi Simon had fields in Har Melech. Shal le Rabbi Yochanan, I guess it is. Amalei Haviron Valtis Krema over the Kochavim. Don't rent them to the non-Jews there. Just leave them fallow if you have to. Shor Rabbi Shimon Levi v'Sharlei. So Rabbi Shimon Levi allowed him to rent it to non-Jews. Sava Rabbi Shimon Levi, all this later on. Makom she'eni yisrael mitzvim kada Suya. Place where Jews are not prevalent is like Syria and can rent the land out to the non-Jews. So the and then Gra says that the Gilead Ephraim says he saw afterwards at the Gra, and the Nir also learned this way. So so again, let's go back to the Gemara. Amro Yavo Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua come and decide. Amru, they said, Lo Amru Yeshua Lo Yisbik Lavo Ajnid V'Rasha. So he's not able to come until it was too late. In other words, so I guess there was some upheaval and turmoil, and he was not able to get there in order to be matir the Har Melech. About Shem, Rabbi Yosef said, "Halacha Rabbi Shimon." Halacha is Rabbi Shimon, and the yesh that the guy does have kiddush ber, so mafkim and Egypt was a which why, but since and that makes sense. Therefore, they're going to call Rabbi Yeshua. So he says, "Like Rabbi Shimon," and therefore he's going to pater Har Melech from Shumas Meisers. So to ask him, why didn't Rabbi Yosef have to tell us this? Locate manam mamrim. What we said otherwise, right? Mayor Rabbi Shimon ain't a look Rabbi Shimon. Isn't the principle that when you have machlis or Rabbi Shimon we pass like Rabbi Shimon? So what's the chiddush? Why did Rabbi Yosef tell us this? No. So I'll tell you why. It says more. Begin the Tani because the Bride says, "Amar Shimon Shazuri." Ma'isishnis arvu peirus tfulin b'peiroisai. There was a case where peirus of the tevel got mixed in my peirus. V'shalti Sarbitar and asked Sarbitar from what to do. But I'm like, say v'lo chamin aku maserale. Go and buy fruit from a non-Jew, because you can't take from the Shumas Maisis we saw yesterday. Minei ubei, because you might take Torah Chiv, Torah. So go buy a batch from a non-Jew and use that to take up the Shumas Maisis on your Meduma here. On your mixed up, well, it's not Meduma. On your mixed up Tevel and Chulin. So we see from there, Rabbi Tarfon holds that Enkin Vakum, Vakum Rafkim and Shumas Maisis. Otherwise, you couldn't take Shumas Maisis from this new batch if it grew by a non-Jew. So so it must be Rabbi Tarfon holds that like Rabbi Meir. The title Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Shimon Omer Yesh Kinim Akum Be'eretz Yisrael Yesh Kinim Akum Be'eretz Yisrael Lefotro Min HaMaaser. So, and we learned also that there is Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon knew. Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon both hold Yesh Kinim Akum Be'eretz Yisrael Fotro Min HaMaaser. Now, but now we have 2 against 2. Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Tarfon against Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon. So the Gemara says, but Rabbi Yosef is telling us the lotis, but don't think Meimar to say trey kokaba treyinu. It's 2 against 2. So therefore, who says he's passing like Rabbi Shimon? To Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Tarfon against Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Yehuda. Lomar halacha Rabbi Shimon. Therefore, we have to say. Therefore, Rabbi Yosef has to tell us no. Halacha is like Rabbi Shimon, regardless. Separated this mamish to the bottom of Mem Tes on the base in the art scroll, but tomorrow the sugya will continue, and with Od Min Adah, another proof that we should pass on Rabbi Shimon, the Yesh Kinyan Akum of Kimidei Chumas and Meisers.